If you are a professional in your 50s or 60s thinking about retirement, there's a conversation most financial advisors really never start. It's not about when to stop, it's about how to transition. Hi, I'm Kurt Rose, CPA, former CFO. I retired at 61, went back for a master's in entrepreneurship at 63, and I've been building Retirepreneur in real time ever since. So when I talk about this topic, I am not presenting a theory, I'm actually living it. So here's what most people get wrong about retirement planning. They treat it as a binary decision. So either work full time or stop completely. That model was built for a different era. Shorter lifespans, reliable pension plans, employer covered health care. None of those are guaranteed today. You might think you are not ready to retire fully, or that you cannot afford to stop working yet, or that walking away from 30 years of expertise just does not feel right. Those instincts are not weaknesses. They are actually pointing you toward a smarter path. In this presentation, I'm going to walk you through four things: why the cliff retirement model is financially outdated, the specific numbers that make a gradual transition work, what soft retirement actually looks like in practice, and how to know if this path is right for your situation. I call this the soft retirement framework. Let's get into it. The cliff retirement model, which is to work full time then stop completely, was built on three assumptions that no longer hold. First, shorter lifespans. The model assumed you would retire at 65 and maybe live to 75. But a 65-year-old in 2025 can reasonably expect to maybe live another 25 or more years. Second, reliable pension income. Most professionals today rely on portfolios, not guaranteed monthly checks. And third, employer cover health care through retirement, and that is largely gone. A hard stop was never designed for a 25 to 30 year funding horizon. The math simply does not work the way it used to. Here is the scale of what is happening right now. There are 11,400 Americans turning 65 every single day, and this is called Peak 65, the largest wave of retirement age adults in U.S. history. And according to Fidelity research from December 2025, 61% of Americans say they intend to transition gradually into retirement rather than stop all at once. Most of them are not financially or psychologically ready for a hard stop. And the data says the gradual path is not the exception, it is becoming the norm. So what does soft retirement actually mean? Well, a soft retirement is a deliberate, structured transition from full-time work to full retirement over months or years, not simply overnight. It is also called phased retirement or semi-retirement. Four models fit most situations. Phased hour reduction means negotiating reduced hours with your current employer, same role, less time. Consulting or freelance work means applying your domain expertise independently on a project basis. A career pivot means transitioning into a flexible new role which is aligned with your energy and your interests. And seasonal or project-based work means engaging on your own schedule with no full-time commitment required. The key word across all four of these is deliberate. This is a strategy, not a fallback. Here is where the CFO Lens comes in, because this is fundamentally a math problem. Let's say if your monthly expenses are $5,000 and consulting income brings in $3,000, and you only need to draw about $2,000 from your savings. That one shift can extend your portfolio by years. But there's a second dimension that most financial plans completely miss. One of the largest risks in early retirement is a market downturn in your first years of withdrawal. The market drops 30% in year two of your retirement, and you are fully dependent on that portfolio. The damage is compounding and very difficult to recover from. But if you are still earning, let's say $3,000 per month, you can dramatically reduce or pause your portfolio draw during a downturn. Soft retirement income is not just income. Consider it a risk management tool. Now add Social Security to the equation and the numbers get significantly more compelling. For professionals born in 1960 or later, claiming Social Security at 62 means receiving just 70% of your full benefit. But if you delay that to 70, you would receive 124%. That gap represents a 77% increase in your monthly check, and it is permanent and inflation adjusted for the rest of your life. Every year you keep earning, even part-time, is a year you are not drawing down savings, and a year your Social Security benefit is growing simultaneously. Two compounding effects working in your favor at the same time. Most retirement plans optimize one of those. Soft retirement optimizes both. Here is the risk that almost never shows up in standard retirement planning conversations. Medicare eligibility begins at 65. If you retire early and lose employer coverage, marketplace health insurance can cost $10,000 to $20,000 per year until Medicaid kicks in. That is real money, and it hits exactly the moment when you are trying to make your savings last. Soft retirement income, even part-time consulting, can keep you covered under an employer plan or make marketplace premiums more manageable. This is one of the most overlooked financial arguments for a gradual transition. The numbers are not a scare tactic, they are just planning input. There is a dimension of this conversation that does not show up in a spreadsheet, and it matters just as much. Work provides three things that most people take for granted: structure, a reason to get up and engage with the world; status, a professional identity built over 30 years; and social connection, the relationships and collaboration that come with being part of something. Stopping cold means losing all three at once. Research shows retirement-related depression is significantly more common among people who make abrupt exits from careers that define their identity for decades. Soft retirement lets the identity transition happen gradually. You stay professionally engaged, you maintain the relationships you build, and you contribute at a level that matches your energy, not an employer's calendar. This is not a fringe trend. The data confirms it already happening. WTW research from 2024 found that 15% of U.S. workers over 50 are already phasing into retirement. Another 19% want to but cannot find the right path. That is 1 in 3 workers over 50 that are actively looking for what soft retirement offers. And separately, 40% of workers over 65 are still working, not because they have to, but because remote work, consulting, and flexible schedules have made it possible to contribute without the corporate grind. Now let's talk about what soft retirement actually looks like as a business. 3 models built for this transition. Consulting is project-based with a high rate and no full-time commitment. One client at $3,000 per month changes your entire financial picture. You're selling 40 years of judgment, not your time. Coaching means recurring monthly relationships at, say, $500 to $2,000 per client, and typically 10 to 15 hours per week. The schedule is yours. Course, cohort, and community models mean you build once and sell repeatedly. A $497 course sold to 10 people per month is $5,000 in income that does not require your presence. All 3 of these leverage your existing expertise, require low startup capital, and can generate $3,000 to $10,000 plus per month on your own schedule. Before you price your services, you need to know 2 specific numbers. The IRMAA cliff sits at $109,000 modified adjusted gross income in 2026. Income above that threshold triggers Medicare surcharge increases that most soft retirees never anticipate because they never had to think about it before. The Social Security earnings test applies before full retirement age. Benefits are reduced by $1 for every $2 earned, over $24,480 per year. These numbers are not stop signs, they are planning inputs. The CPA who understands both thresholds can structure your consulting income to keep you on the right side of both. But you need to know they exist before you set your rate. Here are 4 questions that tell you whether soft retirement is the right path for your situation. 1, you have expertise someone would pay for. 2, can you cover 50% or more of your monthly expenses from consulting, coaching, or course income? 3, are you willing to delay Social Security for a meaningfully larger benefit? 4, do you want to stay mentally and professionally engaged for several more years? 3 or more yes answers is a strong signal. Then run the numbers across the 3 scenarios. Hard stop, a soft 3-year transition, and a soft 5-year transition. The difference in portfolio survival rate across those 3 scenarios is significant. Most financial advisors do not show you that comparison. You should ask for it. Here's how to start. 5 decisions in order. 1, define your monthly income target. What do you need to cover to make soft retirement work financially? 2, identify your most marketable expertise, the specific problem you solved repeatedly over 30 years. 3, choose your delivery model, consulting, coaching, or course and cohort and community. 4, set your Social Security delay date. Model the difference between claiming at 62, 67, and 70. The numbers will make the decision easier. And 5, set an endpoint. Define what fully retired means to you and work backward from that date. The last one matters more than most people realize. The biggest trap in soft retirement is what I call one more year syndrome. Without a defined endpoint, the transition becomes indefinite. Set the date before you start. 2 tools I recommend for doing this work properly. The Retirepreneur Hub has the expertise, monetization blueprint, and model-specific guides for consulting, coaching, and course businesses, built specifically for professionals 55 and older. Free access, no credit card required, and the link is in the description. For the financial modeling side, the tool I recommend is Bolden. It accounts for Social Security timing, Medicare costs, part-time income, and portfolio scenarios all in one place. It's free to start. That link is also in the description. The cliff retirement was never the only option. Most professionals over 55 have more flexibility than their financial plan assumes, more marketable expertise than they give themselves credit for, and more to contribute than a hard stop allows. Soft retirement is not about slowing down. It is about building on your terms, protecting your portfolio, growing your Social Security benefit, bridging the Medicare gap, and staying engaged at a level that matches who you are. The 2 tools to start are in the description. Bolden for the retirement income modeling, the Hub for the business side. Both are free to start. Keep building.